ค่ะก็สวัสดีทุกท่านที่มาเข้าร่วมการ presentation อันนี้นะคะแล้วก็ขอบคุณสถาบันกัลยาที่ให้โอกาสในการมา present วันนี้นะคะก็ดิฉันชื่ออภินพร ชัยวนิศิรินะคะเป็นนักเรียนมหาบัณฑิตของจุฬาลงกรณ์มหาวิทยาลัยนะคะในสาขาดนตรีศึกษานะคะก่อนอื่นเลยก่อนที่จะเริ่มเข้า
We need English, please.
within English okay sure You want me to? Okay, my name is Apinporn. I'm the current graduate student at Chulalongkorn University in the Faculty of Education, Division of Music Education. So first of all, before I start my presentation, I would like to ask everyone in this room a couple of questions. So can you please raise your hand if you talk to anyone this morning or before you come into this presentation? Thank you. How about talking to a stranger? It can be asking a way of the staff to the bathroom or asking a way to this room. Thank you so much. And the last one is, do you actually work with anyone this morning? Exchange your ideas or collaborate with anyone? What I want to say is that this is what we do every day. But you know that every moment that we communicate and interact with other people, we are using our social competencies. Do you know what is social competencies? Social competencies are the skills that we use to interact with other people and in order to deal with different circumstances. But how can we develop these skills? Or how our children can develop these skills? Here it comes to my research. Musical theater production, the educational tool promoting social competencies. How musical can help develop the students' social competencies. And there are three topics that I want to cover today. The first one is, why does it have to be the student? Can it be an adult? The second one is, why does it have to be musical theater? And in which process that actually help increase the students' social competencies? So the first topic, why does it have to be the student? This is because the younger they learn how to interact and communicate with other people or create the interpersonal relationship, they are likely to increase their potential to be achieved in school and also be successful at work, and most of all, to become a citizen of democracy. And in the world where technology is advanced, where the children from 0 to 1 year old are using mobile phone, these skills are very distinctive skills. The second topic, why does it have to be musical theater? Can it be other activities? Yes, it can, but musical theater is a living art form that integrates and connects all the learning areas of arts, from visual arts, dance, theater, and especially music. Although most people think of musical theater as a stage production, spectacular or pure entertainment, but for the past few decades it has become clear that musical theater is one of the important educational tools that has to be implemented in school, especially in America. The second reason why it has to be musical theater, it's because in ASEAN country and especially in Thailand, musical theater rise in popularity. And if you can see, there's a lot of musical that has been produced each year, and last year is even broke the record. But if you compare with the show that has been produced this year, it's already equal number of shows that produced last year, and it's not even the end of the year yet. And because of this trend, lots of schools in Thailand start to produce their own musical, and it's rising every year. The third topic, and in which process of the musical theater actually help increase the students' social competencies. Before I go into details, I want to talk a little bit about my research process. So my research is a qualitative research where I interview the two experts who produce musical annually. and they also graduate with the theater and music degree. The first expert, anyone here know her? Ajana P. Reyes? So she's a teacher and a lecturer at College of Music, Mahidol University, and in our vocal performance department, musical theater, and she also teach musical theater at pre-college. And this is the musical that she produced for her student. She wrote the musical herself and produced and directed. But another one that I want to show you is this one, Gloy the Musical, which is a musical about banana who want to be a moon. But it actually teaches the little kids to appreciate themselves and love who they are. But this musical is not produced by Ajana PC, but her student, which she helped them to create the show. The next expert is Ajahn Amanat Jantaravirod. Anyone know him? Yes? Ajahn Amanat also graduated with a music education degree and music composition, and he's a teacher at Tripad Waldorf School. He not only teach them in music class, but also wrote all the music for their musical. And the musical that just has been produced in the beginning of the year is The Little Prince the Musical. After I interviewed these two experts, or these two key informants, I transcribed all the recording into the Word document, and then I coded all the important sentence and word that related to social competencies, and then compare and analyze it. What I found can be separated into three parts. The first one is types of the production. The second one is the production process, and the third one is the social competencies in relationship with Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences theory. So, types of production. I found that there are two types of production that has been created, but what are they? So I want everyone in this room to help me follow this flow chart. If you want to create a musical where the student write a musical, yes, and they also help with other processes. You are likely to create a student fully develop the musicals. But if, in the second pathway, if your student write a musical but didn't actually help with other process, or they didn't write a musical but help with other processes, you are likely to create a student partially develop musicals. And in the third pathway, if the student didn't write a musical and didn't actually help with other process, which means that the teacher done all the process by themselves and the student just perform, you are likely to create a teacher's fully developed musical. But because the first two production, students are doing some of the process, so I want to group it into one. And go back to our previous slides. So it can be concluded that there are two types of production, which are the student fully or partially developed musicals and the teachers fully developed musicals. So what is the production process? From the literature review, I found that there are 5 processes, not include the budgeting or how to find the avenue, just the process of the creating the production. But in my research, I only look at 4 processes, which are the writing musical process, the rehearsal process, the backstage and technical routines process, and the performance, which is the process that student takes time together. And the last part, which is the important part of the research, how does the social competencies in relationship to Howard Gardner multiple intelligences are gained during the production process, and which type of production are actually help the student gain the social competencies? From the coded analysis, I found that there are various skills, for example, social interaction, sense of community, teamwork, volunteering, that actually help increase the student's social competencies. And how does it relate to Howard Gardner multiple intelligences? These social competencies skills can be separated and grouped into 2 groups, which are the intrapersonal intelligence and the interpersonal intelligence. And what are they? Intrapersonal intelligence or self-smart. It means that the ability for you to understand yourself, to motivate yourself in order to achieve a certain goal, or to understand your strength and limitation. On the other hand, the interpersonal intelligence or people smart is your ability to understand other people, understand their feeling or motives. As I said that I group the social competencies with this intelligence, I want to give you a little bit of the example. The first one, effective participators. When you want to be an effective participator, you have to motivate yourself. And in order to motivate yourself, you already increase your intrapersonal skills. But if you are collaborating with anyone or work as a team, you have to interact with other people who are likely to increase your interpersonal intelligence. And how does these skills are created during each process? So I summarize it into these tables. And you can see this icon of the student developed musicals production and the teacher one. And you can see that in each process, there are some skills that has been created in each process. So I want to go one by one. So the first one, the process of write a musical. You can only see that it's happened in the student developed musicals because in the teacher write the musical themselves, right? So, but they will gain the social competence during the student developed musicals. And in develop anything new, they have to gather their ideas and their thoughts and exchange their ideas. So they will gain the skills of collaborating, interpersonal skills. And one of the important skills is how to respect others' ideas, which all of these skills will increase their social competencies. The second process of rehearsal. Just being at the rehearsal, the student already gain their effective participators. They also learn how to be effective participators that contribute in the rehearsal process. And when they are in rehearsal, they have to help each other, right? If you can see from the picture down here that they help each other with the choreograph, with the acting. And this helping each other also help them with how to collaborate and help each other as a team. And not only that they help each other, sometimes teacher or friends are giving the students a certain role, such as choreographer, director, music director. And by giving this specific role, they learn to be responsible for their role. And by having this role, they also learn how to take turns to be the team leaders and team participator. The third process of backstage and technical routines, this process is very important in creating musical because from the interview I found that it's a tradition where the lower grade level student are helping the higher grade level student with the musical, with the lighting or with the costume or being their stage manager. And by creating this tradition, the student learn to volunteer themselves of helping others. And they also feel the sense of community, feel the sense of family, which is really important of creating a show. And the last process of performance. In a performance, you have to create the same atmosphere so that the audience will understand and feel the same feeling that you are created on the stage. So for example, if you see in this picture, everyone was cheering and dancing, and if just one person stands still and do nothing, they will stand out, but they're not going to create a successful show. So one of the important skills in this part of the process is unity, how to be united to create the show where people are helping each other. And another thing is when they are singing, they are not only blending their voice, but they also blend their thoughts and minds. So from this table, I concluded into this graph, so it can clearly see that the teacher developed musicals only help students gain their social competencies during the rehearsal process and the performance process. In contrast, the student developed musicals increase the student's social competence in all processes, and especially in the rehearsal and the process of writing a musical. However, even though the student developed musical help the student with their social competence more than the teacher developed musicals, but the students still gain some of the social competence in both processes. So I would like to conclude that musical theater is a really important educational tool that foster all the various skills that increase the students' social competencies. And before I end my presentation, I would show you a little bit of the video of a workshop of the academy called Yes Academy ASEAN, which is the academy where students around ASEAN country audition and be part of workshop, and what did they learn from the processes.
The love for what they do and the love of each other here at Yes ASEAN Jakarta has been magical and poignant and beautiful for me, and it's my favorite thing that I do all year.
You're the song of my life.
ASEAN Broadway students can take a lot from the Broadway program, actually. I mean, there's a lot of fun and there's a lot of excitement, meeting new friends and making a lot of art.
We all come together in many ways. Everyone is hardworking, everyone is positive, everyone is there to study and be passionate about their art. What makes Broadway a little bit different in this region is it doesn't actually exist in this region. Broadway is in one place in the world, and that is in New York City in America, and it's so nice to come here and be around people that have found their passion for it in other venues and other outlets.
Never go.
Is at the heart of what we do, whether or not it's between what we do as a soloist and the text or the music that we're working with, or between the people that we share a stage with.
Many artists like to work by themselves, but when you collaborate, you learn from one another. As long as you have the humility and willingness to share and learn, collaborations are one of the best ways that anyone can improve their art form. While so many of us are working on perfecting our art form and truly learning to be great collaborators, one of the great things that we're exploring here also is cultural entrepreneurship. How do we actually build our businesses as artists while at the same time having a positive impact on the world? We are all ambassadors, we are all cultural diplomats. And one of the great things about creating new music, meeting new people, and doing it in such a global environment is that we really can affect positive change throughout the world. Every one of the students here at the Yes ASEAN 2016 understands this, is committed to using their art to make the world a better place. Sekian dan terima kasih.
So before you leave this presentation, don't forget to using arts to create the world a better place. Thank you.
PowerPoint presentation, and last but not least, she will have her own musical performance on this weekend. Could you please tell the audience
So
about it?
the concert will be arranged and at the 11 and 12. I'm promoting my own concert. So it's called the Story Musical Concert, and I'm part of the ensemble. If you guys have time, you can book it in thaiticketmajor.com.
Where is it?
It's at Aksara Theatre, and like there's like Kunamon, Get the Voice, Ton AF, like some celebrities, sir, if you have time.
And you.
And I will be part of the ensemble if you have time. Thank you.
Okay. So that's the end of the first session in the afternoon. Feel free to take a break and come back 30 minutes after this. Thank you so much. ขอบคุณค่ะ